Hello, I'm Charles Dupree, Superintendent of Fort Bend ISD. I'm here to provide details about the district's 2017-18 budget and how inaction by leaders of our state will impact Fort Bend ISD during the upcoming school year. For now, it means we will be using some of our reserves in order to ensure that we are adequately addressing our student needs and providing our schools with the necessary resources and support they need each day. But beyond that, it also means that over the next year, we will need to make strategic decisions to reduce overall spending, because we know it is not feasible to continue using our reserves. I'll get more into that in just a bit, but first, I feel it's important to provide a little more background. Our district receives funding from three sources: local revenues, state revenues, and on a much smaller scale, money from the federal government. But due to a complex and quite frankly unfair state funding formula that has not been addressed by lawmakers for many years, our local taxpayers are taking on more of the burden. In 2007, for example, 51% of our funding came from the state, but that has continued to decrease. And in 2016, the state accounted for 37% of our funding. And we estimate that this year that will go down to 35%. As we developed our $633 million operating budget for the 2017-18 year, we remained focused on the goals and priorities established by our Board of Trustees, including our commitment to provide an educational system that will enable all students to reach their full potential, our commitment to recruiting, developing, and retaining effective teachers and staff, and providing a supportive climate and safe learning and work environment. This work is demonstrated by the fact that 61% of the budget is directly related to instruction and instructional-related services, and the teacher and principal pay increases we adopted this spring to ensure that we remain competitive, because we need the very best in order to achieve our district mission. As we progressed into the final stages of the budget development process, though, our district learned that the state legislature was not doing anything to help. The legislature failed to adopt any changes to the broken state finance system. An additional $8.5 million that would have been provided through House Bill 21 disappeared. This while Fort Bend ISD learned that local property tax growth will be much more modest than originally expected. And all the while, we're preparing to open 3 new elementary schools and a middle school to address our continued enrollment growth. The good news is that the leaders of your school district had the foresight to grow our reserves to prepare for a scenario just like this. We have a healthy fund balance, and we will use nearly $12 million of these reserves to get us through the next year. We're also moving forward on a funding strategy that will amount to increased recurring revenue while giving taxpayers relief. This drop and swap will reduce the overall tax rate by 2 pennies, dropping 4 cents from the debt services tax rate of 30 cents and swapping 2 of those pennies to fund maintenance and operations. This is money that goes directly to our general fund, which is what pays for our operations, teacher salaries, and other student resources. The board will formally adopt the tax rate and employ this strategy in September. If you're interested in learning more about this drop and swap, please visit the Budget and Finance webpage on our website. There, you can also find past budget presentations from all stages of the budget development process, as well as a more detailed breakdown of the 2017-18 budget. Over the next year, we will continue important budget discussions with our Budget and Compensation Committee and teachers and principal groups in order to reduce year-over-year spending. But for now, we're also asking our community to join us in reaching out to lawmakers and asking for them to stand up for students across the state. Our future relies on the success of our students and our public school system, and we cannot do this alone.